want to try the Dr. Farrah protocol, again, you have to change your diet. You know, that's the most important thing, because some people, they think that they can just take they can do the Dr. Farrah protocol without changing your diet. That's actually one of the worst thinking that you can ever think.
So we're gonna be talking about food protocol while we are waiting with to be contacted with Food Babe. Okay, so our food protocol is very simple. So this protocol I have used for 16 years, and I have so many success with using this food protocol. I have treated a lot of patients with this food protocol, and I can tell you, if you follow it, it's very difficult. If you follow it, it's gonna be beneficial to all of you. Okay, first thing foremost is that no sugary food. Okay, so kahit po prutas yan, even if it's fruits, even if it's a processed food or whatsoever, you are not allowed to touch it. Don't touch it, don't look at it, don't you ever smell it, okay? Because the cancer cells, they have 96 receptors for sugar, while the normal cells has 4 receptors for sugar. So imagine if you are a cancer patient and you are eating foods that are very, very sweet, your cancer cells are just eating, so they are growing. That's why it's very important not to eat foods that are rich in sugar. So when you talk about sugar, marami yan. You have your glucose, fructose, sucrose, diba? Galactose. Mamaya I will discuss all of them. Okay, so if you're gonna eat any fruits, preferably the ones that is not rich in sugar. Okay, so huwag po kayong kakain ng matatamis. Okay, so that's it. Next is that you have to avoid packaged or processed food, okay? Especially tocino, diba? Dahil mga Pilipino, mahilig tayo sa tocino, sausage, okay? I remember when I was young, I would go to turo-turo, diba? May mga turo-turo tayo dyan, and then we would just eat, you know, the hot dogs there on stick. Actually, cancer on stick. Okay, they're very, very bad for us. They're rich in nitrates, and nitrates has been implicated in a lot of cancers, particularly stomach cancer. Okay, so do not eat packaged and processed food. They're not good for you. Okay, how about rice? Okay, this is the one that's very, very controversial because we are Filipinos, diba? We love rice. Okay, so if someone tells us, do not eat rice, you know, we are emotional with it. And I remember there was this politician who told us do not eat rice, and everyone was ganging up on her. Actually, what she is saying is actually simple, because rice, anything that is white bread, white pasta, okay, these are simple carbohydrates. And if you eat simple carbohydrates, they will be converted to sugar immediately, okay? Hindi sila katulad ng complex carbohydrates. So do not believe the hype, okay? If you're gonna tell me like, si Dr. Farrah, she would always ban all of these carbohydrates. That's not true. That's not true. I only ban simple carbohydrates for my patient, okay? And for all of my followers, okay? Back then, when I was in Phil, okay? Ito po ay nung nandun po ako sa Pilipinas, okay? So you are not allowed to eat simple carbohydrates, okay? But complex carbohydrates, they're good for you, okay? So what are complex carbohydrates? Vegetables, yeah, fruits, yan. So, again, fruits, wag matamis. Okay, so sana po nagkakaintindihan tayo dyan. How about milk? Diba? Meron tayo yung milk ng kalabaw, milk ng goat, ano? Especially in Phil, you know, when you're in Phil, everyone loves milk, you know, especially the milk that you get from the Carabao, because they're so tasty, they're fatty, you know. Okay, this is my concern with milk. Okay, wag po kayo magagalit sa akin. This is my concern. Some of the milk in the market, they have a growth hormones. So the growth hormones, these are hormones that you take in. So pag tinake in mo siya, then it can cause growth also of cancer cells. So hindi po siya maganda. Okay? How about yung organic? Now, this is another problem, okay? When we grow older, as we grow older, at the age of 20, 20 up until 50 years old, we actually lose an enzyme, okay, to process all this milk. It's called lactase. So that time we don't have any more enzyme, okay? So most of us, we are actually lactose intolerant. So if you have lactose intolerant, you're gonna have diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, yan. So that's my take in on milk. How about almond milk? How about soya milk? Majority of the foods out there, if you're familiar with GMO, that's another problem of us, your genetically modified organism, particularly with corn and soy. Okay, there was a research about GMO, and these genetically modified organisms, what are these? These are organisms that have been genetically modified to suit a certain purpose. Okay, and what is the purpose? To not die. Okay, kasi usually if you plant them, they will have problems, right? So there's a lot of insects that would eat them, you know. So this is modified, they are modified genetically, so the insects will not eat them. Or the insects, yeah, genetic, okay? Pwede din na they will not freeze, okay? Like in tomatoes. Some here in the US, there are tomatoes here that, you know, they put a gene on it, so it will not freeze during winter, okay? So the problem is there was a research about this, research and experiment, and linking that these foods, GMO, they can cause cancer. Cancer, infertility, yan. So kaya maraming infertile sa atin, di ba? Nagtataka kayo, how come there's so many infertile right now? And I think one of the reason is genetically modified organism. So you have to be very careful with that, okay? So let me, I just caution you, okay? So it's really your decision if you wanna listen to me or not. Okay, nuts. So the problem with nuts is there's this contamination with the fungi. Okay, it's called aflatoxin. So the aflatoxin, and it's especially in peanuts, okay, they can cause liver cancer. One of the most dangerous cancer in the world, liver cancer. You can get it from contamination, eating peanuts or nuts that are contaminated with fungi or aflatoxin, okay? And some of us, we are allergic. Okay, so if you're allergic to peanuts or nuts or whatever types of nuts, it's better not to eat it. Okay? So, particularly, how about oatmeal, sweet bread? Ayan, diba? How about them, Doctora? Okay, now the problem with them is they are highly inflammatory. Okay, so usually yung mga patient or yung mga followers natin, if they eat it, they cause inflammation in the body. Okay, now inflammation is one of our worst enemies. Kasi if you have a lot of inflammation in the body, guess what will happen to you? Okay, it's associated with many illnesses, diabetes, hypertension, cancer. So we're gonna go to yogurt and kefir. I have read in one of the literatures, and it says that actually they're not only good for cancer. The lactose there, it's converted already to lactic acid. So you can eat yogurt, you can eat kefir or fermented foods. They're good for us because they supply our body with bacteria, with friendly bacteria. We are actually made up of bacteria. More on bacteria. Our body is more on bacteria. Yeah, rather than cells, okay? Diba yung mouth natin, you heard it several times that our mouth, it's very dirty. Actually, it's not really very dirty. It means there's a lot of bacteria in the mouth. And it's there for a reason, okay? Probably next time, I will discuss it to you. Bakit maraming bacteria yung ating mouth? How come our mouth is full of bacteria? There's very many reasons why it has to have a lot of bacteria. Friendly bacteria, of course. Pati yung ating gut, it has to have a lot of friendly bacteria. And they're there to help us. You know, the Lord Jehovah is such a good Lord. Imagine, He created us with a lot of bacteria to help us. There's so many good reasons. Like, I will tell you right now, if you're gonna eat green leafy vegetables, they are made up of nitrogen. Now it has to be converted to nitric oxide. And this nitric oxide, it's actually anti-cancer. It's not only anti-cancer, it causes vasodilation for your heart. and you cannot take in nitrates. Okay? The only reason why you can take nitrates is if your bacteria converts it to nitrite. And from nitrite, when you eat it, in your stomach, it is converted to nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is anti-cancer. For those of you who are listening, you might want to research on nitric oxide. Kung sakasakali, it's gonna be a frontier in cancer treatment, hopefully. So, when you talk about fishes, there's no farm fish. Okay, so ano ba yung farm fish? Tilapia, bangus, salmon. Salmon is good for you. Yes, it is good for us. Unfortunately, it's not good for us anymore because of what we did to them, what we feed them. So it has become one of the worst food that we as a people would eat, farmed fishes. Okay, so they are attributed with cancer as well and with a lot of degenerative diseases. So how about butter? Diba? If you wanna do cooking. So what is the best for us? Frying, okay, frying is not good because it can lead to oxidation. If you eat oxidized food, it goes into your system and it can cause heart attack. So that's why it's very bad for us to eat foods that are fried. But we can eat siguro mga once in a while lang. And if you choose to fry, especially me, I love to fry, you use butter and virgin coconut oil. Okay, because they are saturated fat. So they are very stable. Very stable sila. So stable on heating. Okay, so pagka hinit mo sila, hindi sila masyadong na-oxidize. Unlike your unsaturated fatty acids, who are these? What are these? These are corn oil, diba? So you have your soya oil. So these are all the unsaturated fatty acids. Olive oil is actually good for us, but you cannot cook them. And the problem with them is that if you expose them to air, okay, pag na-expose na siya sa air, it's already oxidized. Panis na, stale. It's stale already. And if you eat foods that are stale, okay, you will have a lot of problems. How about the water? Pwede ba yung mineral water, filtered water? Meron pa yung alkalinized water. So, generally, in the beginning, when Jehovah created the world, okay, they have all of this water. Okay, the water is filled with minerals, dissolved minerals. Okay, so you have your calcium, magnesium, diba? Nandiyan na lahat. And the calcium, magnesium, these are also what you call alkaline water. So it means patay yung water mo. So it means it cannot give minerals in your body. Okay, so what is mineral? What are minerals and why are they important for us? Our body has enzymatic processes, okay? Ano yung enzymatic processes na yan? So for example, we eat some food or, these biologic processes in our body. It has to be degraded fat and it has to be degraded by enzyme. Now the enzymes will only function in the presence of a cofactor, which can be a vitamin, and a coenzyme as well, and minerals. So kapag wala kang minerals, the enzymatic function will not proceed. Okay, that's why it's very important. And Dr. Farrah believes on minerals. I believe on minerals. I believe on vitamins. I used to not believe in minerals. I used to not believe in vitamins. I thought that the food that we are eating is enough. I thought that whatever we are eating, it will provide us with vitamins and minerals. I was wrong. That was the most deadliest thinking I ever had when I was younger. And right now I changed it. Vitamins and minerals, they are one of the best. Okay. How about Doctora, organic and inorganic? Diba? Inorganic and organic minerals. Okay. Kasi some literatures, they would tell you it has to be organic, it has to be bound to acylate to an amino acid. Diba katulad ng magnesium orotate, magnesium citrate. Diba? Ano kaya yan, Doktora? Diba? Meron ka pang mga chelated na mga yan, na mga vitamins. These are just minerals that is bound to an amino acid para daw makapasok, ma-absorb natin sa katawan. But the thing is, how about the salt? Salt is sodium chloride, diba? So we just take it in. It needs not to be bound to an amino acid, and our body absorbs it. So I believe that it's also okay to take in inorganic mineral. That's for my point of view. Okay. So in the end, if the Lord made it, it must be good. It must be great. It's good for us. And we are sick because of our agronomic sense. Okay, so, okay, agronomic sense. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga ginagawa natin sa mga lupa natin, okay, sa mga pagkain natin, that's the reason why we are sick. Okay, so kung ano-ano yung mga nilalagay natin, maraming asukal, everything. So, that's actually bad for us. Okay, in the end, you have to eat hypoallergenic, anti-inflammatory food. So again, to wrap it up, no sugary foods, no processed or packaged food, no simple carbohydrates. Milk, they have growth hormones. Nuts, usually they are contaminated with fungi or aflatoxin. So oatmeal is highly inflammatory. Yogurt is okay. Fishes, if it's farmed, do not eat it. Butter and virgin coconut oil, they are medium chain triglycerides, good for us. And olive oil is also good, but do not cook it. Water is good as long as they are clean. Okay, so again, distilled water is dead water. So wala pong minerals yun. Wala siyang minerals. And the water that is ideal for us, those are rich in dissolved minerals. Okay, so maganda po yan.